Right, what we're making for dinner tonight is chili con carne. Really straightforward to make. It tastes amazing. This will probably make about 4 or 5 portions depending on how hungry people are. So what you need is you need 500 grams of mince, a tin of chopped tomatoes, a tin of red kidney beans, an onion, 2 peppers, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, and the spices you need are chili powder, paprika, cumin and some mixed herbs. You also need a beef stock cube because you need to put some stock in it, and some tomato puree as well. So the first thing you do is chop up all the veg. So you need to chop the onion up finely, chop the garlic up finely, and chop the peppers into squares. So I'll do that and then we'll get on to the cooking. Right, so I've chopped up everything and now it's time to start cooking. So I've got a big soup pot with some olive oil in it, just on a medium heat. First thing you put in is the onions, because you want to just cook them until they soften, so it'll take about 5 minutes. Make sure they don't stick and they don't caramelise or anything like that, because you don't want any of that flavour going on. So if it fries too much, just turn the heat down. But just keep the onions moving for, like I say, 5 minutes until they soften, and then we can add all the other ingredients. Right, so that's the onions softened. You'll see there's no browning in the pan or the onions, they just went kind of translucent in a sort of pink colour instead of the red. So now we've got to add all the other base ingredients. So in goes the garlic, both the peppers, and some of the spices. So what we're putting in just now is the cumin, paprika and the chilli. Right, this is all really down to personal preference. I don't like it being too spicy, I prefer it being more aromatic. So I'm only going to add kind of half teaspoon of chili powder, but I'll add more cumin and more paprika because I like those flavours. So I'll probably do about 1.5 teaspoons of each of these. Oh, not too much there. Yeah, that'll do. Then give all that a stir. Get all the spices coating all the veg. It'll smell amazing already. Again, when you kind of make this a few times, you change your amount of spices that you use. The first time I made it, there was too much chilli in it, so that's why I cut it down and added the rest. So you can see all the spices have coated the veg. You want to just leave that for a couple of minutes to kind of just cook a little bit. So you've just put in fresh onion and the peppers and the garlic. So you want to cook that down a wee bit so the flavours mix. And then it's time to add the beef, and I'll come back to it. So this has all been cooking for a couple of minutes. You can see it's nicely coated with the spices. Nothing's sticking. Again, you've got to keep the heat quite low here to make sure nothing burns and sticks. For the next bit, however, you need to turn the heat up because you're putting in the mince and you want the mince to basically brown, so that is kind of fry. So it's 500 grams of mince, just crumble it into the pot. And you want to keep stirring this, keep it going, and the idea is to break up the mince from the big lumps and to brown it all. So you want it all to go from the red colour to that it's cooked on the outside, as you can see some of it's doing already, and it's browning there. So this will take a good 5 minutes of constantly stirring and kind of mashing it up with the spoon before we can move on to actually making the sauce. So I'll get on with this and then we'll come back to making the sauce. On a point, while you're doing this, you could make up, that's 300 ml of beef stock. You need that for the sauce. So at this point, try and get that made up while you're stirring. Right, so that's the mince all browned, as you can see. So it's time to make the sauce now. So I'm just going to turn the heat back down a wee bit so that doesn't stick and burn. So for the sauce, as I said, you need your 300 ml of beef stock. Just pour that straight in, try not to spill any of it. Your can of chopped tomatoes. Again, just pour it all in. And you need the other spice at this point, which is the mixed herbs. Some recipes say put marjoram in, mixed herbs is exactly the same thing basically. So you need about a teaspoon of that as well. And just to thicken the sauce a little bit, some tomato puree, about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. You can either measure it out like I do, or you can just squidge it in, whatever you want. Right, so stir all that together, and then you want to bring it up to the boil and turn it down and simmer it for 20 minutes with the lid on. That just gives everyone a chance to cook, and then you get on to the part where you put the kidney beans in. So I'm going to turn the heat up, and once it starts really bubbling away like a boiling kettle, turn it back down again so it's just kind of bubbling a little bit. Put the lid on and cook it for 20 minutes. Right, that's it boiling. 2 things I forgot to mention is you need to add some salt and pepper as well at this stage, and also some recipes say to add sugar or even some chocolate to it. I've tried it with sugar, I've tried it with chocolate, I've tried it without. I honestly can't notice the difference, so I don't bother putting in sugar or chocolate anymore. But again, up to you, try it, see what you think. So I'm going to turn the heat down so that it just bubbles. Give it a stir to make sure nothing's stuck. And put the lid on, and that's it for 20 minutes. Come back to it now and again to check if it's stuck or not, like just give it a stir to make sure it doesn't stick even and that it's not drying out. If you find your sauce is you know, kind of going away, your heat's too high and you only add some more water and turn down the heat. But if you just have it just bubbling gently like that, it should be just fine. Right, that's 20 minutes up. So now the last stage of the chilli is to add the kidney beans. So give it a stir, make sure none of it's stuck, which it hasn't. And now it's adding the kidney beans. Really important, do not add them straight from the can. Put them in a sieve and give them a good rinse, because when they're in the can they're in this kind of purple gunk basically. So you need to give them a rinse, but then once you've done that, tip them straight in. Give the whole thing a stir again to make sure they're well mixed in. Right, and this time you're going to simmer it for 10 minutes but with the lid off so that the sauce thickens a little bit. Okay, you also notice up the back I've got my pot for my rice on, so that's just normal water with a chicken stock cube in it, and I've got about 3/4 of a coffee mug of just normal long grain rice. This is only for the 2 of us, so we'll take what we need. That's enough rice for 2, and then I'll probably freeze the rest and cut fresh tubs because I take it for my dinner at work when I'm back shift. So 10 minutes and the rice will take 15 minutes, so it doesn't matter if the rice isn't done when your chilli's done, because if you let the chilli sit without the heat on underneath it, the flavours will just mix a bit better. So don't worry about the rice being ready at the same time as the chilli. So like I said, 10 minutes and then the rice, and then that's it. So that's chilli been cooking for 10 minutes. You can see it's thickened up quite nicely, and that's it done. All you need to do is leave that to sit for 10 minutes while the rice cooks with the lid on. Give it a taste, season it if it needs any more salt and pepper, and then serve it up. So that's it, chilli con carne and rice. Thanks very much for watching the video. leave any comments and have a look at my other videos. Thanks, bye.